Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's the first episode of a brand new series where I take all the hardest manga pages, some of the most technical, some of the most complex, and I'm going to try redraw them, just to see how hard they are, to see how long they take on average. One thing to take in consideration is that these manga artists are thinking of these panels, layouts, and structures with their own brilliant mind. They go through storyboarding, rough sketches, drawing to inking, so it's non-comparable pretty much. I'm going to take the 10 most complex manga pages of all time and I'm going to try redraw them, see how long it takes me, and see how defeated I feel by the end of it. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I've got an idea for the first 2 or 3 episodes, but I'm still searching, I'm still reading, just to find some of the other crazy ones. So today is episode 1. We're going to be tackling this page from Takehiko Inoue's Vagabond. Vagabond, there is a plethora of ridiculously detailed pages, some of which I'll put on screen right now. So I could make the whole 10 episode series just about pages from Vagabond, and I'm sure I'm going to do another one down the line. But I thought this one here is a good place to start. There's an insane amount of small detail, and it's so easy to get lost in a page like this. When you zoom into the picture, which I'll do, which you can see now, you can see that it doesn't look super clean. So that's one thing I was considering. I could obscure a little bit, so I was happy about that. So let's get into it. Episode 1 of trying to draw the hardest manga pages. As always, I find it the easiest way to do this. I started off with a grid. I'm working in portrait. My grid is 20 centimeters wide and 30 centimeters high. I used this grid scale just because I know it's going to fit on the screen, both for the live stream and for the videos. And I feel like it fits a portrait manga page easily. Where it doesn't work is, I guess, is if it was a square. So I started off with a grid. I always like to lightly block in the areas. Use a 2H or a 4H pencil, depending what I have around, because I have to take some to classes I teach with me, and I tend to leave stuff around. So I started with I started with a 2H pencil, blocked in all the forms. I'm not getting all that little detail down around the leaves and everything like that. I was just focusing on the big sort of shapes everything made. I know a lot of my microns and my gray tone markers are going to do a lot of heavy lifting here, so I didn't want to spend too much time getting details down with a pencil. I was looking at the shape the waterfall made, the boulders around it, the 2 characters, and where those big trees are going to sit in the background. After that, I use a HB or a 2B just to refine those areas. I always find it easier to start off with something super light and then work with a darker tone, just so I can get a better idea of where I'm supposed to ink. Because if things are too obscure and too sketchy, then when it comes to inking time, it's going to take that extra 2 hours just to figure out those exact lines I need to ink. Now, something I did different for this artwork that I haven't done before is I usually use dip pens. So I'll switch between a deleted G pen or a Maru pen, which is the smaller, thinner ones for extreme detail or for background elements. But for this one, I recently bought some Microns, and I was just interested in doing the whole piece in that. I wanted to keep some sort of consistency with the line work. So with Microns, those lines are going to be consistent every time. Whereas if you're using dip pens, you're limited by how much ink you manage to get on the pen. And while most lines are really fluid and they can change in shape and form and it's all brilliant for this specific art style, I just wanted to make sure I got consistency, because I knew this piece was going to be really hard, and especially for background elements like the trees and stuff. I didn't want to take a risk of smudging or anything like that. So when it came to inking, I'm using my microns, and usually a 0.1 or a 0.5 for the whole piece. My approach to inking this piece was to work one area at a time. I focused on Musashi, and then I added in my gray markers. So I'm using a lot of blue grays or green grays. After I do one area, starting with Musashi, and then look at the rock below him, I'm switching between a 0.5 to 0.1, and then for the really finer details, tiny details, I'm doing 0.05. So yeah, taking one step at a time, doing the right section, then doing the left. If you look from far away, you can sort of see, man, these trees look great, and they're all coming together and they look like trees. A bit of, wait, I'm gonna zoom in right now and you can see that I'm just sort of scribbling. I'm scribbling, leaving white gaps and going in with gray tone markers. And it actually creates a lot of detail and a lot of fullness over time. So don't think that I'm like meticulously planning this out. It's all perfect and full, and it's really not. It's actually just like a scribble mess. And that's what a lot of artwork is, I find anyway. The closer you get to an artwork, the more it kind of obscures and like you can really see the artist's brushstrokes or their pencil marks. But the further you get away, the more sort of brilliant it looks. Yeah, so I'm just swapping between a whole bunch of gray tone markers, and then I'm just blacking out with a 1 micron. I didn't use any ink for this entire piece. I was far too scared about smudging. As I recently finished Vagabond, it's definitely got the craziest artwork I've seen. It's between that and Berserk. And if you were to go on Google and just search up best manga panels or craziest manga panels of all time, the search results are just going to literally be filled with the Vagabond and Berserk. It's really awesome what those two artists have done and the space they occupy in the manga world. I'm going to put on a bit of a time-lapse now so you can see how I get on with the rest of this piece. So if I was to rate how hard this was out of 10, I'd probably give it a 7. Only because, like, it's a difficult piece, don't get me wrong, but I think the most difficult thing about it is how time consuming it is. This piece took me 9 hours overall to finish up. 9 hours is no joke. I think I completed it over 3 days, 3 days over the live stream. Thanks so much to everyone who joined in. But yeah, 9 hours to work on a single panel or page is insane. Think about it from this perspective. Oh, I didn't make this page. All I did was try to replicate what Inoue had done already. The fact that he has conceived of this idea, drawed everything in as much detail as he could, and this is his like sort of own creative genius is insane to me. One day I'll get there, but for now, we just got to appreciate what these people do. Thanks everyone so much for watching. This is going to be a series, like I said. It's probably going to be a 10-part series, so I can get 10 of the most detailed, craziest manga panels ever and try redraw them. I have some ideas for like 3 episodes, but I'm also running out of ideas. If anyone has some suggestions on some crazy ones, some obscure ones, some manga that's had 12 readers, it was published a week and then is on some random magazine in like the mountains of Japan or something. If anyone has some crazy underground manga panels that are just insane to draw, please let me know. I'd love to see them. I'd love to read them. Any suggestions, leave them below. I'll get to them. One thing I'm going to start doing is start introducing rug tufting to the channel. That's something I used to do a long time ago. I actually used to run a small channel and business, and then I took it all down. So I'm going to get back into it for this channel. If you'd like to see that, please subscribe, please like the video. Once I hit 500 subs, I'll start buying all the materials I need. Yeah, thanks everyone so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like, please subscribe. I'll see everybody in the next video. See ya.